Good morning, Bears. Here we go. I'm back with the community cat. Did I tell you guys about the community cat? This guy showed up. Never seen this cat before in my life. All of a sudden, he's hanging out in my front yard. I feed him. He's supposed to be wild. He's supposed to be feral. When they cut the ear like that, that means somebody has taken him in, spayed or neutered. That means make them so they can't have babies. And then also giving them shots so they're kind of healthy, but then they're meant to kind of stay wild. So he's kind of wild, but he's letting me pet him. He watches TV with me at night, and I'm trying not to let him in the house. And now he's meowing at me. So anyway, here we go. We're using Michael's fantastic slideshow today because he has kept up with all the work. And so we're going to use his and somebody else's in class for each class when we're in Zoom to kind of go over where we should be. If you're just jumping on, maybe you missed Monday through Wednesday, maybe you just woke up and realized you're supposed to be on Zoom every day and doing work, right now you can get a quick little overview of what this week's slideshow looks like. And you can go try to catch up. If you're just wanting to get a C, because report cards come out next week, instead of a D, then you need to get some basics done. So some of the basics are we're learning about asthma this week. So we have an asthma slide. So you notice Michael has put together some visual images. He has some text to tell us what asthma is. And we need that in our research because today we're going to finally make a claim and a diagnosis. And you're going to put together a little letter with pictures and presentation to show your patient. Think about if you're a doctor and a patient comes in. If you just tell them, hey, you have asthma or you have diabetes. We don't know which one she has yet. We're going to do some testing right now to determine it. Wouldn't it be better if she had like a little visual presentation like one of our slideshows? So you're going to use 1, 2, or 3 slides maybe to just walk Elisa through her condition. So you're going to basically determine what her condition is. We've figured out she eats right, she sleeps right, it's not anemia, she doesn't have damage to her pancreas, it's either asthma or diabetes. I'm going to provide for you some information that they did some tests on Elisa. You're going to compare that data to your SIM results. You'll do a quick little SIM results on asthma and diabetes again, and then you say which one she has. Now you can't just make it up. You need to supply the evidence, and your evidence will come from the testing. So you will say, based on your test results, Elisa, you have this going on and this going on, based on what we know about either asthma or diabetes, and then you'll explain what asthma or diabetes is, only one of them, whichever condition she has. You'll explain what system that impacts. If it's asthma, it impacts the respiratory system and oxygen and how it flows into the cells. If it's diabetes, it impacts glucose and how glucose goes through the circulatory system and enters the cells. So depending on if it's asthma, you're going to talk respiratory system. If it's glucose problem, if it's diabetes, you're going to talk digestive and circulatory system, because remember, it's something in the circulatory system that stops the insulin that helps in the blood, and the glucose gets stocked up in the blood. So where are you getting this information, in case you don't remember what I'm saying right now? From your slide. So Michael can go to his asthma slide to get his information if he's going to diagnose asthma. He's going to go to his diabetes slide if he's going to diagnose diabetes. And of course, you have other research along the way to remind you he has a diabetes CR, which is fantastic. And we also have the course or the steps for each one, for starches and for oxygen. For today, we don't have to worry about our protein amino acids. We're either focusing on the starches or the oxygen. And if you did the activities, you should have a screenshot, and this will also remind you. So you want to use the SIM, but you can also come back to your screenshot that you created when you describe the problem to Elisa. So that's our overall goal. But first, let's get started. And we are going to make a CER slide. I don't like that slide, so let's just hit delete. Let's go, remember you click your arrow here. I like title and body. Elisa's diagnosis. Now this can be 2 or 3 slides, and we're not gonna put what it is yet, but it's either asthma or diabetes. And when you present this 1, 2, or 3 slideshow diagnosis to help Elisa understand her condition, you're going to make sure to put the basics of a CER and a FIST essay, claim, provide evidence reasoning. But one format could be, basically say hi to Elisa, introduce, remind yourself that you're the assistant or whatever, explain the test results, and you're going to have those here, they're in groups. Then you're going to explain the condition, whether it's asthma or diabetes. And then you're going to talk about the cure, because remember we learned about the cures in the articles. And then you're going to make her feel better and send her on her way. There's your basics. So first you want to say hi to Elisa. Hello, Elisa. I've been researching your case. Here's what I think the problem is. Explain the test results. Now, when you explain the test results, we need to explain them, what they mean, and use evidence from your sim and from your research. Explain the condition. Once again, you're going to use evidence. Where did you get? Maybe one of your quotes from the article. Maybe another sim example on how the oxygen is not getting in. And then you're going to talk about the cure, and you should know that from the articles. Cure for asthma is you have to have a inhaler that helps open your airways. The cure for diabetes is there's different ways to get insulin into her blood system to solve that problem. So remember, we're only picking one. Does she have asthma or does she have diabetes? Let's go do some testing. So way down here around slide 112, you will see the test results from Elisa. Now, I've also included a screenshot of this so you can see it more clearly in groups. But if you want to come down to 112, you can see this. You can make it big enough to see it. It's pretty easy. See, the box is like this. You can make it bigger, and so you can see it right here. But just for fun, I put the screenshot into groups so it's easy to find. It's pretty basic. Total glucose molecules absorbed by cells. This is Elisa, remember, 19. Total amino acid molecules absorbed by cells, 54. Total oxygen molecules absorbed by cells, 273. Oxygen molecules taken in per breath. So we don't really, this is just baseline. This might be normal 19. This might be normal 25. Seems like a lot of oxygen, seems like a lower amount of glucose, but we don't really know that for sure. So we need to go back to our sim. So let's go find our sim again. Depending on how many slides you've added at the top, your sim should be around 11. Could be 12, could be 10, something like that. And so we need to find our sim and do some testing. So let's go take a look at that. And remember, in our sim, I will walk you through it right now in case your sim does not work. But it's much better right now for you to go play with this sim. And I'm going to explain it quickly here. Then I'm going to let you play with it for 5 minutes. And then hopefully you can determine on your own. But then you can watch this as I play with it, just in case it didn't work for you. All right, why don't you go play with this sim. Go open it. Remember, you have healthy body, we have asthma, and we have diabetes. That's all we're worrying about right now. Healthy body, asthma, diabetes. So what you want to do is watch a healthy body just for a little bit, then watch asthma, and then watch diabetes, and you should be able to predict how that compares to Elisa's. Now, you might be able to do this just by doing the healthy body, because we already know the ratio by going back and looking at our screenshot of oxygen and glucose going into the cell. So just by watching this healthy body, you might be able to determine your diagnosis. But remember, you need to include this in your evidence, so make sure you understand what you're seeing. All right, start playing, watch healthy body, go back and look at your screenshot over here in the groups, and just kind of see if you can figure out, does she have asthma or diabetes? go. Okay, let's get some responses on your findings, and then I'm going to put you into breakout rooms real quick, and hopefully one of the 4 people in there, hopefully everybody can share their findings and what they think based on playing with the sim. So let's do that. Go into the breakout rooms, discuss what you saw in the sim. If you did not understand it, didn't figure it out, sim didn't work, then listen carefully because you can learn from your peers. All right, let's go into the breakout rooms, and then we'll come back and come up with a conclusion on what the problem was. All right, let's do this. I'm going to play with the sim. If you're watching from home, if you're on your own, if you got confused, if your group didn't talk, pay attention. So we have a healthy body here. Let's click play. Based on our test results, let me pull that up. Took a really good look at our test results. Let's start with glucose molecules absorbed by cells. Now, it's possible she has both asthma and diabetes. That would be interesting. Total glucose molecules absorbed by cells, 19. Total amino acid molecules absorbed by cells, 54. We don't care about that. Oxygen, 273. Oxygen molecules taken per breath. So let's look at glucose molecules absorbed by cells. Now, they didn't give us a lot of information there on testing, so we're going to have to do some inference. Here's our breath rate. Keep that in mind, but we don't care about that right now. We're just talking about the glucose. So let's focus on something that has a lot of sugar in it. Let's go ahead and click play. Let's give corn, because that's a lot of sugar. And let's see what a healthy person does, and just see if that matches the 19 per test. Oh, you know what I need to do real quick? Let's go ahead and start over, and let's do test, because remember the test is probably what they did for Elisa. So now let's go with testing. Let's go with play, and food Q is coming in. So let's watch for glucose, the yellow things. 19 seems like a lot to me. 1, 2. This is a healthy person, remember. Healthy person over the whole cycle here. Let's speed this up. 3. Keep champ. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8, 9, 10, I think. 11. We're not quite getting to 19. 19. It doesn't look like this is going to go that much more than the 19. Let's go ahead and speed this thing up to 2. Timer's at 111. I don't know if this actually stops. That seems about normal. This is a healthy person. Seems like 19 would be about right there. So let's go ahead and reset this. Start over. And remember, you can be observed. Let's do another test. But this time, let's go. Oh, it's still healthy. We still want to do healthy. Let's go test. But this time, let's watch oxygen. Now, let's go back and look at our chart. Oxygen molecules taken per breath. 25. Total oxygen molecules absorbed by self, 273. That's a lot. So let's see if she's getting those breaths correctly here. Checking this again just to make sure we're on track. Okay, so now we're looking at the oxygen. Now, what do we know from our notes? That the problem with the oxygen isn't here at the cellular level. So remember, the glucose, the problem is here at this gateway. The glucose can't get into the cell because of the issues with the glucose going from the circulatory system into the cellular system. With asthma, the problem is in the lungs. So if we remember, this is the respiratory system and this is the lungs. So this is where the glitch would be. So let's compare this to our oxygen molecules taken in per breath. Hers is 25. Let's pause this and just see. How many does a normal person have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25. So let's check that. Then let's go back to our check an asthma patient just to kind of compare that. Test. And let's see, here we go again. There's an asthma patient. Keep in mind, we're looking for the oxygen coming in. There they come. Ooh, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's about half. Interesting. That's per breath. Remember, we can see the breath right here. Let's see another one. Interesting. That seems more like 12. Let's go back to healthy body. Test. This is what you should have done on your own already. But just to, let's see. One breath. Waiting for the breath. Come on. Here she comes. And count right there. That's about 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's go back to our data. Okay. Oxygen molecules taken per breath, 25. Total oxygen molecules absorbed by cells. We don't think that's the issue because it's in here where things get in trouble. And so we already can see that she's fine. She has 25. Asthma patient usually has 12. So she does not have asthma. So we can determine that even though it was trickier to figure out with the glucose patient, and you can go back and double check, diabetes patient with the glucose issues, we can check that and compare it, that it is looking like she has, where's our food up here? Why aren't they letting us do food? Interesting. That she has an issue with the glucose. I believe she has an issue with the glucose, therefore she has diabetes. How do we know that? Because her data, glucose molecules absorbed by cells is 19, and on a regular test through the whole cycle, it is way more than 19. We can even test that right now. One more time. Healthy body. Yes. Test. This time, let's speed it up, and let's see if we can count these. Starch coming in. Make it easy. Here we go. Starch, glucose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Wow, this person's getting a healthy person gets a lot of glucose goes into that cell. So I would say that she has energy shortage. We're running the cycle. That's why that won't let me do anymore. And we can always speed that up too to jog. The test was included. Review the results. Okay. How do we review the results? I don't see that, but it would be nice if they showed it to us, wouldn't it? No, I don't see it. Let's see. In test. Okay. I don't see the results myself, but based on us running that, way more than 19. So now we can determine she does have diabetes. So now, what's our next assignment? The Thursday, Friday epic. We come into our slideshow. We go back to the top. We have our Elisa's diagnosis. Everybody right now, make sure to create this slide. You can start it now. You can go by memory. I will write this in groups. I will outline the diagnosis and the assignment, which is basically create a 1 to 3 slides. 3 slides is enough. You got a picture. Elisa's coming into your office, and you have to explain to her that she has diabetes. You have to tell her be nice to her, welcome her. That's like an introduction. Explain to her what her disease is, a little bit about it, some evidence. What is diabetes? Give the evidence from the test that supports why she has diabetes. Glucose is not making it into her cells. Tell her how she can the cure. It's not really a cure, but the what is it called? The anecdote, the way to help her, which is to give her insulin. Explain that to her. Tell her she's going to be okay, and then give her a little positive message to say goodbye. Include pictures, include some evidence, include your diagnosis for an A-level presentation. Remember, you're the doctor. You're using a slideshow to explain to Elisa that she has diabetes. All right, get started. Remember, this is a Thursday, Friday epic. Not due till the end of the day tomorrow. You have all day tomorrow in class. We'll say hi for 10 minutes, and I'll let you work. Let's do this.